Linus Ullmark stepped up to save the day as Tuukka Rask is out day-to-day with a lower body injury. This is Ian McLaren of Locked On Boston Bruins with a special bonus podcast here on Saturday, January 29th, recapping last night's game against the Arizona Coyotes and looking ahead tomorrow at a final road trip date against the Dallas Stars.
You're Locked On Bruins, your daily podcast on the Boston Bruins. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What is up, Bruins fans, and welcome back to the Locked On Boston Bruins podcast. Again, I'm your host, Ian McLaren, and I want to thank you for making Locked On Bruins your first listen every day. We are free and available on all podcast platforms, usually Monday to Friday, but jumping on here for a special bonus episode on Saturday because of what transpired last night. And want to start with the Tuukka Rask situation. Last night, if you were on Twitter, there was a lot of intrigue. Well, first of all, it began earlier in the day when Bruce Cassidy announced that Linus Ullmark would be getting the start after playing very well in a loss to Colorado on Wednesday. It was assumed by me that Tuukka Rask would get the start, playing against a lesser opponent in the Coyotes as he continues to find his game. Later in the evening, Mark Diver, who covers the Providence Bruins very well, but I should add, if you aren't following him, do so now. He mentioned that Jeremy Swayman was pulled from his start in Providence, and then the Bruins announced that Troy Grosnick had been recalled from the taxi squad, and he would serve as the backup to Linus Ullmark in the game against the Coyotes. Turns out Rask was not able to dress last night because he's dealing with a lower body ailment that crept up following his last start on Monday against Anaheim. He's made 4 appearances since returning to the Bruins, and he's considered day-to-day, according to Bruce Cassidy. Cassidy said he came out of his last start and felt a little something. They thought he would be fine for the road trip. That's what he indicated to them, but not as much a few days later. It didn't come around as much as he'd like, and that's the situation there. Cassidy acknowledged that the club expected some up and downs as Rask ramped back up following offseason hip surgery. He's not officially been ruled out of Sunday's game in Dallas, but if he's unable to play, Swayman would likely be recalled from Providence officially. Don't know if he would start, but Ullmark playing very well, as we'll talk about here in a moment. They're going to see how he is on Saturday. The Bruins are going to practice today, see how his availability is. If he doesn't feel like he's going to be available Sunday or even Tuesday before the All-Star break, they'll obviously have to look at Swayman. Cassidy didn't go as far as to say that he needs a reset period with the All-Star break coming up. What he needs is work. He needs to play, get into his rhythm, get back at it. Tough to jump right into the middle of the season, but that's part of it. He's the type of guy who hasn't had a lot of work. It's almost the opposite, where he needs reps, needs practices, needs games. But at the end of the day, Cassidy said, taking a step away for the next couple of games. Hopefully he uses it to his advantage. And maybe the All-Star break coming up could be good for him. Unclear if it's a setback related to his hip surgery, whether it's a completely different ailment. The first thing that came to my mind was Ben Bishop trying to come back earlier this season after, I believe, knee surgery. Had some action in the AHL and then decided he couldn't do it. Hopefully that's not the case here with Tuukka Rask. A lot of people were suggesting maybe Swayman's been traded. No, I don't think the Bruins are contemplating that at all. And it looks as though Rask is just dealing with some sort of lower body issue. That's the official word. Again, not sure if it's related to his hip injury or something else. The Bruins, like I said, they do play tomorrow in Dallas, and then they host the Seattle Kraken on Tuesday, and then they'll be off for several days over the All-Star break. Again, this is when the Olympic break was supposed to be. No. So they have 6 days off between games over the All-Star break. So maybe they'll shut Rask down and then see if he can come back after the break, with Swayman being recalled for Sunday's game against Dallas and Tuesday's game against Seattle. Before we move on to how Ullmark has been playing, quick word about BetOnline. A lot less football being played, but they have you covered for scores, totals, player performance props this weekend for the conference championships, even when the next coach is going to get fired. They're your number one spot for all things NFL in 2022. They have you covered also for basketball, hockey, boxing, UFC. Go to their new updated desktop and mobile website, sign up for a free account, and receive a 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit by using promo code LOCKEDON. That's BetOnline, the fastest and easiest way to wager on all your favorite sports and play your favorite games. Use promo code LOCKEDON for that 50% welcome bonus. Now with Rask, some questions surrounding him. Linus Ullmark stepped up huge once again, making 31 saves in the win for the Boston Bruins. A 2-1 decision over the Arizona Coyotes. The offense wasn't really clicking, and Ullmark stepped up in a big way, even suffering a bloody nose in this one. If you see the pictures this morning on social media, you'll see he's got some gauze up his nose there. Ullmark, really stepped up. His game was excellent last night. Cassidy said he was finding pucks, tracking pucks, recovering, playing inside the posts. It was a good defensive game for the Bruins, he thought, Cassidy, and for the most part, line rush opportunities weren't there, etc. Overall, Ullmark's most important stops came during a back-to-back sequence that included a double pad denial of Lawson Krause, point blank, and then a glove stop on Nick Schmaltz. Coyotes not super, known for their offense, but they were getting a lot of pucks on net last night, and Ullmark stood tall in this one for sure. Ullmark has won 8 of his last 9 starts, the only loss being that overtime decision to Colorado on Wednesday. For the season, he's now 15-5-1 with a .916 save percentage through 22 games. Linus's job, Cassidy said, when he's in there is to give us the best chance to win as possible. Shouldn't really matter what's going on around him. Questions about Rask's health, if Swayman's coming back up. The Bruins made a commitment to him. He made a commitment to the Bruins. And at the end of the day, it's working out right now. And with Tuukka being day-to-day, might not be a choice where he has to get in there for his 3rd straight game. Certainly played well enough on Friday to earn another start. And they'll have to see how he's feeling today to make sure he can go. But should certainly be the case where he is able to get back in there. And again, he played fantastic. Offensively, Charlie McAvoy's power play goal with 6:19 remaining in the second proved to be the winning goal. The Bruins now, since returning from the COVID-19 shutdown on January 1st, are 11-3-1. They're now just 2 points back of Toronto for 3rd in the Atlantic at the official midpoint of the season. We're halfway, Cassidy said. If we have the same second half as the first half, we're a 50-win team, 100-point team. That gets you into the playoffs. And, right now they're fighting for 3rd place. They're trying to match up with the Floridas, the Tampas, the Torontos. They've made up some ground. but it's a long season. Second half is when you want to play your best hockey. Hopefully that's the case for us. Cassidy said they've put themselves in position to go into the second half in a good spot in the standings, still chasing teams they love to catch, and they have to make sure their game continues to trend in the right direction. We'll touch on Monday's episode, kind of a halfway point check-in. It will be past the halfway point with the Dallas game on tap for tomorrow. But through 41 games, the Bruins are 25-13-3, 646 point percentage, plus 15 goal differential. Right now, in terms of point percentage, they're seventh in the East, ahead of Washington, just behind the Rangers. And again, they are 2 points back of Toronto, but the Leafs have 2 games in hand on the Bruins. Anyways, just wanted to check in with a quick bonus episode to touch on Tuukka Rask. Again, we don't know his official situation, whether it's the hip issue or whether it's something else. We'll see today if he's able to practice. If not, Swayman will join the team for Sunday's game against Dallas. One game after that, before the All-Star break. So next week will be a lot of mid-season appraisal of this team. And we'll be back on Monday with a recap of tomorrow's game against the Dallas Stars for sure. Hope you're all having a great weekend. Talk to you on Monday here on the Locked On Boston Bruins podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your favorite team every day. Take care, friends.